Fondant troubles? Not anymore. From perfect coloring to pro-level textures, this ultimate guide will transform your cake decorating. Stick around. Fondant mastery starts now.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my nude fondant. Yes, so today I'm going to show you how to make 3 different shades of nude fondant. Okay, so if this is your first time on this channel, welcome, and I'm glad you're here. So this is my white fondant and I'm stretching it because before you use fondant at all, the first thing you need to do is knead it properly. You need it to be well kneaded and soft. So make sure you spend at least 3 to 4 minutes kneading your fondant, depending on the size. If it's a lot more, maybe you'll need up to 10-15 sometimes, because you need to have it well kneaded. Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make nude fondant. So the first thing you want to do is take a tiny piece of your fondant. You don't want to color the whole batch. Take a tiny piece and add a little brown. Do you see how much brown I added to that thing? Just a little brown will do. So now I'm putting some cornstarch on my board, on my silicone mat, so it doesn't stick. So the 2 colors we're going to be using today is we're going to be using brown and pink. So if you notice on this channel, yeah, like my cake decorating is on a budget. I know I've said that a million times on this channel. So I don't buy every food coloring. Like, I think the only colors I buy are the primary colors and then the neutral colors, like blue, red, yellow. Yes, and then I have white, I have black, I have brown. I think that's all. The other colors I kind of make them myself. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is add a little bit of pink. So the pink, you want to add a little bit more pink and then just knead it. The pink kind of gives it like kind of warms up the flesh tone. Yes, so this is the first shade of fondant we're going to be doing. The more color you add to it, the deeper it will be. So the next thing you want to do is take some white fondant and take a little bit of your nude fondant, yeah, and then add it together. It's going to give you a lighter shade of nude. So if you want to go darker, all you have to do is add a little bit brown and pink to the initial batch. If you want to go lighter, all you need to do is take a little piece of fondant from the first batch you made, and then you want to add a little bit more white. So now we have 2 different shades of nude, yeah. So I'm going to take from the second shade again, and then I'm going to add a little bit more white to make it a little bit lighter. So now we're going to have 3 different shades of nude. So when you're coloring your fondant, it's important for you to color tiny batches first, so that way you can control how much color you have or how little or you get. You can control the shades you want, of course. So make sure you don't color the whole batch at once, so you can have more control on your coloring. So if you notice, now we have 3 different shades. We have a nude that is kind of really deep, and then another one, and then another one, and then I'm going to show you the white one, and then I'm going to put them side by side for you guys to see. So when you're making nude fondant, basically all you're going to need is pink and brown. That's all. Whether you're making for a white person or for a black person or maybe for an Indian, depending on the skin tone of nude you're making, that's how deep you want the color to be. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this cracked fondant effect, and I'm going to show you how to make it with fondant paper, and this is very pliable and very easy to work with. It almost feels like a fabric. Yes, like edible fabric. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that and how to use wafer paper, because on this channel I find the easiest way and the the lazy man's way of doing everything for you guys. So I found this technique on TikTok and I decided to make a video for you guys to see how it is done without you having to use luster dust and a blowtorch. Like, the real method is made with luster dust and a blowtorch and like leaving it to dry out a little, but this one takes around like maybe 2 to 3 minutes to make, and all you're going to be needing is some fondant and some wafer paper. Yes, so today we're going to be using black fondant and thin wafer paper, which is 0.02 millimeters. Yes, so the thinnest wafer paper. I haven't tried those thicker ones, but today I'm using the thin ones to show you guys how this is done. Okay, so another thing I thought about while making this video for you guys is the fact that it can also be done with like wafer paper that's already been printed on, so to look like cracked effects with like maybe if it's printed flowers or butterflies, with like flowers and butterflies just randomly spread around on top of it. So that'll be really cute. Okay, so let's get to it. Yeah. Okay, so guys, all I'm doing here is just to add some glue on top of my fondant and then stick on the wafer paper and start to stretch it with my rolling pin. You don't have to wait for maybe 10 minutes, or you don't have to wait at all. Just apply some glue. If you want to see how I make my edible glue, I have the video on this channel and I'm going to put the link right up here. It says click on me here, click on that. And also, if I haven't put the link by the time you watch this video, please forgive me and just type in the search box on my channel and you'll find it, edible glue for wafer paper. So you want to take some edible glue and then just stick your wafer paper on top and then just roll it out as much as possible like I did, and that's all you have to do. It's really simple. And then just cut out the pieces, the parts that you've made, and then you use it according to how you want to use it, and it's so simple. So for this method, I'm also going to try with printed edible wafer paper to see like how that works and if I'm going to like it, like what designs I can do with that. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you guys my fondant recipe. Okay, if this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. It's you guys that keep me in business. Thank you so much. Okay, so one of the questions I've gotten like most recently and too often is about how to make fondants that is pliable and usable and really great regardless of what country you're in, depending on temperature and climate conditions and stuff, that will work for you. Like if regardless of where you are, what kind of fondant will work for you. So it took me a while to put this together, and like if you remember, several of you kept asking me and I was saying okay, next week. It's finally next week, so I'm going to be showing you guys this fondant, and I took a lot of time to put together. I think this was my 7th time I was making it. Yeah, I did some kind of troubleshooting like 6 times, and then the 6 times, this was the 6th time, yeah, 5 times, and then the 6th one was something I felt I could work with and works perfectly, and you can switch it to your taste, to your liking, depending on what country you're in and how much humidity is there, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Okay, so for this fondant recipe, we're going to be needing gelatin, and it doesn't need marshmallows. Yes, because my fondant recipe that I'm used to using, I use marshmallows. So this one, you don't need marshmallows. You need regular fondant ingredients, which will be 1 tablespoon of gelatin, and then to that you're going to be adding 1/4 of a cup of water, and then you're going to leave it to bloom. You know how to, gelatin now, just leave for like 10 minutes and then it will bloom properly before you warm it up. Okay, so today we're going to be using glycerin. I actually bought glycerin for the purpose of this video. I normally don't use glycerin, I'd rather use butter. Glycerin is just like oil, just plain oil, flavorless and colorless and stuff. So but butter has some flavor and a little color and some liquid in it, so it makes your fondant a little softer. So I kind of prefer butter because it's available and it's always there, or you can use margarine if you are vegan. Okay, so today we're going to be needing some glucose, and that's going to be 1/2 cup of glucose. So into your powdered sugar, which will be 900 grams of powdered sugar. So but to that, first you're going to divide your powdered sugar into 2. So in the bowl you're going to have 450 grams. In this bowl right now I have 450 grams of powdered sugar, and then I'm going to be adding 1/2 cup of glucose to it. And then to that I'm going to take my gelatin that already bloomed, pop it in the microwave for a few seconds, maybe like 10 seconds, and then I'm also going to add it to this 450 grams. And then also to that we're going to be adding our glucose, which is 1/2 cup of glucose, don't forget. Okay, so for the purpose of this video I'm going to be using glycerin, and to that you're going to be needing 2 tablespoons of glycerin. Yes, if you're normally I'd use margarine or butter, and if I'm going to be using 3 tablespoons. So if you don't have glycerin, that's okay, you can use butter or margarine. So into our bowl, the same bowl where there is 450 grams of icing sugar, we are going to like melt our gelatin mixture that already bloomed, because you want it to bloom properly, because that way when you pop in the microwave it will soften and you won't have those tiny lumps in your fondant. I think when I did my second take I had tiny lumps of gelatin because I didn't bloom it properly. So you want to make sure it blooms properly. So once you melt it in the microwave for a few seconds, maybe 10 to 30 I think around that, and then you're going to pour it into your bowl of 450 grams, and then you are going to stir. So you want to stir it until it comes together, and then remember we divided our icing sugar into 2 different parts, yeah, 2 equal parts. So the remaining 450, you're going to be adding it in tiny bits, yeah. So you're going to add it and stir until it gets to a consistency where you can pour it on top of your mat and then knead. But we're not there yet, so we're going to add a little bit more. Okay, so let's go over our ingredients again. You're going to be needing 900 grams of icing sugar, 2 tablespoons of glycerin, half a cup of glucose, 1/4 of a cup of water, 1 tablespoon of gelatin. Yes, so you're going to mix it in the manner that I'm mixing it right now. So let me type it for you guys. Check your screen right now. You're going to see where I wrote the ingredients. I hope it's not too tiny for you guys to see. Okay, so that's the base ingredients you're going to be using. And so when it gets to this this consistency where it's too thick to be stirred in a bowl with your spatula, and it is too too thick kind of, so you're going to take it and pour some of your powdered sugar on top of your mat, your silicone mat, and then you're going to scrape down. Yeah, it's thick. Something you should do, don't mind me, what you should do before now is to rub some butter or some oil or some glycerin on inside your bowl before pouring your icing sugar into it. That way it won't stick as much and you won't have to be using all of your energy to scrape it like I did. Okay, now it is time to knead. So we are going to knead the remaining powdered sugar into this fondant. If you notice what I'm doing, I'm just turning the fondant over on itself in the midst of the icing sugar. I don't know if my English is making sense to you guys. Okay, but that's what I'm doing. I'm basically just trying to knead the remaining icing sugar into it. So one thing I want you guys to notice with this recipe, the reason why it will work for you regardless of where you are, is because I'm being very flexible with it. If you've seen my Swiss marine buttercream recipe as well, I made it very flexible, which means there is no particular amount of butter you can add to that recipe. It depends on the range, and I showed you how to see if it's okay when you should stop. The same thing I'm going to do in this recipe today. So it is already getting firm, yeah, yes. At this point, the remaining powdered sugar, you want to take some Tylose powder. This is very what's Tylose powder? It's also called CMC, yes. So you need just like 1/4 of a teaspoon, and then you're going to mix it with the remaining icing sugar and then finish your kneading, and that's all you have to do. So for me, I feel like this fondant is a little too hard for me, so I'm going to show you guys how I soften it. So what I do is, first thing I do is to knead all of the icing sugar into it properly and make sure it is well kneaded. When I work with icing sugar, I like it, when I work with fondant, I like it to be a little bit soft but not too soft. Like, I don't want it to be hard like sugar paste, or what's that thing called? I want it to be quite soft and malleable, so that when I smoothen, it will smoothen easily, and like when I try to stick it on something, it will stick more easily, and that way it's more malleable and you can work with it. Okay, so what I like to do is to take the fondant and then take some butter. If you don't want to use butter, you can use vegetable shortening or you can use glycerin. But the reason why I like to use butter is because butter has some water content inside of it that makes it, like, I don't know, that makes your fondant a little softer. That's why I like to use butter. You can use butter or use margarine. At this point, your fondant is ready, but it is not ready to be used. This fondant is best if you leave it to rest for a few hours. So I'm going to take it right now, and then I'm going to wrap it in some cling film. Yes, so I'm going to wrap it so it doesn't, what I like to do is first rub some butter around it, so like to be easy and stuff, so it won't stick to my cling film. So I wrap it on inside the cling film and leave it for a few hours. Usually 3 to 4 hours is okay, but usually I like to make my fondant like the night before. Yes, or sometimes when I have help, I make those people make me fondant. I don't know if you get, like, when I have students that come to learn and everything, they learn fondant by making me several batches of fondant. Yeah, I know it's cheating and stuff, but I love it. Okay, so it's best, can you see this was after like 5 hours. It's more malleable and it's easier to use and softer if you leave it for a while. If it gets too strong for you, all you have to do is, of course, when you leave it for a while, to toughen up a little bit. That's what fondant does. All you have to do is put some vegetable shortening or butter on your mat and then knead it a little bit more. It's amazing. I love this fondant because this is this is not exactly my recipe. This was a recipe I was taught some years ago, but I kind of fine-tuned it and worked with it to make it this. So basically it's my recipe. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let me show you guys how well it spreads. See how well it spreads, and it is not difficult. See how nice and easy it spreads. You just have to put some cornstarch on your mat and then spread it. I love it. I think I'm going to use it a little bit more, and when I have students now, I'm also going to teach them the marshmallow fondant as well as this one. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I'm so glad I finally got to do this. I enjoyed making this video so much. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future tutorials. Please give me a thumbs up on this video, and if you try it out, please let me know. Please, you guys should give me feedbacks on how you like it or how you don't like it or what you think is wrong. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you're in a humid environment, you can add some cornstarch or take away some cornstarch, you know, depending on how strong or how soft you want it to be. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my nude fondant. Yes, so today I'm going to show you how to make 3 different shades of nude fondant. Okay, so if this is your first time on this channel, welcome, and I'm glad you're here. So this is my white fondant, and I'm stretching it because before you use fondant at all, the first thing you need to do is knead it properly. You need it to be well kneaded and soft. So make sure you spend at least 3 to 4 minutes kneading your fondant, depending on the size. If it's a lot more, maybe you need up to 10-15 sometimes, because you need to have it well kneaded. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make nude fondant. So the first thing you want to do is take a tiny piece of your fondant. You don't want to color the whole batch. Take a tiny piece and add a little brown. Do you see how much brown I added to that thing? Just a little brown will do. So now I'm putting some cornstarch on my board, on my silicone mat, so it doesn't stick. So the 2 colors we're going to be using today is we're going to be using brown and pink. So if you notice on this channel, yeah, like my cake decorating is on a budget. I know I've said that a million times on this channel. So I don't buy every food coloring. Like, I think the only colors I buy are the primary colors and then the neutral colors, like blue, red, yellow. Yes, and then I have white, I have black, I have brown. I think that's all. The other colors I kind of make them myself. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is add a little bit of pink. So the pink, you want to add a little bit more pink and then just knead it. The pink kind of gives it like kind of warms up the flesh tone. Yes, so this is the first shade of fondant we're going to be doing. The more color you add to it, the deeper it will be. So the next thing you want to do is take some white fondant and take a little bit of your nude fondant, yeah, and then add it together. It's going to give you a lighter shade of nude. So if you want to go darker, all you have to do is add a little bit brown and pink to the initial batch. If you want to go lighter, all you need to do is take a little piece of fondant from the first batch you made, and then you want to add a little bit more white. So now we have 2 different shades of nude, yeah. So I'm going to take from the second shade again, and then I'm going to add a little bit more white to make it a little bit lighter. So now we're going to have 3 different shades of nude. So when you're coloring your fondant, it's important for you to color tiny batches first, so that way you can control how much color you have or how little or you get. You can control the shades you want, of course. So make sure you don't color the whole batch at once, so you can have more control on your coloring. So if you notice, now we have 3 different shades. We have a nude that is kind of really deep, and then another one, and then another one, and then I'm going to show you the white one, and then I'm going to put them side by side for you guys to see. So when you're making nude fondant, basically all you're going to need is pink and brown. That's all. Whether you're making for a white person or for a black person or maybe for an Indian, depending on the skin tone of nude you're making, that's how deep you want the color to be. Okay, so I made these cake toppers within the past 2 or 3 hours, yeah. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys the method or the tricks I use to make cake toppers hard really fast. Like, when you make a cake topper, you need it to firm up really fast, and usually most people like to make it days in advance, but sometimes I kind of forget, or like the days I forget or the days I maybe like didn't realize, okay, I might need this, and I don't make it in advance. I have a way of making a gum paste that firms up within 30 minutes. It firms up really fast, and the cake topper can stand on its own. So look at these cake toppers that I made, yeah. they're made out of fondant. I'm going to show you how to make that gum paste that is really firm and like firms up really fast. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, so you're going to be needing some fondant. See how firm this is? Yeah, and this was in less than 3 hours actually. Okay, so look at this fondant that we have. So what you want to do is take a piece of fondant, and in this case you're going to be using 200 grams of fondant. Yeah, so 200 grams of fondant, you want to take it and knead it really well. You don't want it to be sticky, so you don't want it to knead it with vegetable shortening, because that way it will become more sticky and like more, you want it to be firm as possible. So you want to make sure you knead it with just cornstarch or some powdered sugar. Okay, so you want to knead it really well and make it as pliable as possible. So once you are done with that, you want to add some Titus powder. Titus powder is also called CMC, depending on what part of the world you live in. I live in Ukraine, so it is called SMS. And that's because Ukrainians do not have a C, they have an S in the alphabet. So so in this part of the world, it is called SMS. In where you live, it might be called Titus powder or CMC. I don't know. But in Ukraine, it is called SMS because C is S and S is C, if that makes sense. Okay, so once you are done, you want to take some Titus powder or CMC. Yes, they write CMC on it, but they call it SMS. It's very funny. Anyways, so to that, we are going to be adding 3 teaspoons of, to 200 grams of fondant, we're going to be adding 3 teaspoons of SMS. Yeah, so the SMS, you want to make sure the teaspoons are leveled. So I won't take a teaspoon right now. You want to level the teaspoon and apply it, and you're not going to use it all at once. Yeah, you're going to use 1 teaspoon at a time, knead it into the fondant and then do it again. Okay, so now we're going to take a level teaspoon and then we are going to apply it, put it in our fondant. We're going to make a well basically in the middle of our fondant so it doesn't pour out. That's what I like to do. See how firm this is? Yeah, that's what we are trying to do right now. We want it to be really firm and really fast. That's we're using like this much. Yeah. Okay, so you want to take 1 teaspoon and you want to put it in the middle of your fondant, like you want to make it well in the middle of your fondant, and then you will knead it together. So that's what we're doing right now. And if you want to know where to get CMC from, or Titus powder or SMS, whatever it is you call it, I'm going to leave links for you in the description box for you to buy some of my favorite tools. I have some favorite tools I use in my cake decoration that makes my life easier as a self-taught cake decorator. So I'm going to put the link in the description box for you guys to check out below, and at the same time I'm going to put the link for you to buy this CMC or Titus powder if you like to buy it, and it is very cheap and nice. Okay, and the brand I buy also. Okay, so knead it as much as you can, and then now that we've kneaded in 1 teaspoon, we're going to apply the 2nd teaspoon in the middle, just like we did the first one, and we're going to knead. Yeah, sorry. I'm such a clown. I didn't knead the first one in very well, so I'm kneading the second one. Plus I cut some parts of this video so it won't be extremely long, so it will be like not too long for you guys. Anyway, so you just want to make sure you knead in all 3 teaspoons of Titus powder into your fondant, and then you're going to have this really pliable, nice stiff fondant. But the thing is, you have to use it really fast because it firms up really fast. So you have to make sure whatever it is you're forming really fast. Okay, so guys, if you try this out, please let me know and tell me what the results are. Please give me a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye.